Good morning. You're listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. We taste better. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naomi Nachman, and I'm about all the food, all the time. I love food. I love to shop for it, cook it, eat at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef. My business is called the Aussie Gourmet. And anytime you don't feel like cooking, you can give me a call. I'm busy right now in the throes of Pesach, but I'm cooking for lots of people. But anytime you want, give me a call and I'll do it for you. Small parties, Shabbos, anything. I hope that you'll tune in every week and hear about my exciting cooking adventures, kosher food traveling, and sharing great recipe ideas and amazing guests. But I want to hear about your experiences too. So email me at naomi@nachumsiegel.com and share with me where you ate, what you made, what cookbook you made it from, any crazy ingredient that you found. I'd love to hear about it. You can join my fan page on Facebook, The Aussie Gourmet. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and on my newsletter as well through my website. So if you eat it, share it. We have a very, very, very exciting show lined up for today because it's very close to, this is going to be our last show before Pesach. It's crazy that it's come down to this. I am so excited. I'm going to leave in a couple of days to Miami, to the Doral, where I'll be joining the RAM team I'm giving 16 cooking classes, which I'm really excited for. So that's like a lot of recipes I've been preparing for and sharing with the guests there, and looking forward to meeting people and enjoying the sunshine down in Miami. And I'll be reporting a little bit from there. So in the house today, in the studio house, I have 3 exciting guests. Now, I'm going to introduce the first one. It's Schmili Greenstein. I discovered Schmili after many social media hits posted from his amazing coffee shop on the Upper East Side. I've also got Shifra Klein, and if you can see in front of Shifra, we've got a whole little cooking gig going up over there. We're going to do a little Pesach demo over there, and they've got Elizabeth Kurtz all the way from Long Island, hometown. We're going to also talk Pesach and tips and restaurants, and all the fun, exciting stuff that we have going on right here on Table for Two. Schmili, thank you so much for joining me. It's hard to get away from the coffee shop, right?
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, great. So Schmili owns a restaurant. I keep saying restaurant, but it's a coffee shop.
It is a coffee shop.
A patisserie? Would you call it?
No, it's a coffee shop.
It's
a coffee and pastry shop, I'd say.
But the focus on the pastries is, do you all see in front of me? Now, I'm going to get this right now, ZK. On the YouTube channel, Nachum Siegel has his, on the YouTube website, there is a Nachum Siegel Net channel, which we broadcast our shows as well. So you can watch as well as listen to Table for Two. I'm going to hold up to the camera these stunning, beautiful, I don't even know how to describe, I wish I could describe the smell, box of rogalach right here in front of me.
Yes. That is what they are.
Okay, so that's the focus of your store is you've got 2 main things. You've got croissants and rogalach. Have I got that right?
I'd say 3. It's the croissants, the rogalach, and the coffee.
And the coffee. Okay, of course. Coffee gets its own little category. I love coffee. I'm actually plan on driving home past the coffee shop to have some coffee. I've actually had your rogalach a number of times, and your croissants are unbelievable. Nobody in the United States is making anything quite like this.
I don't think anyone in the world is making anything quite like this. Maybe perhaps Israel.
Okay.
But not like this.
What did you do before you did this? You've been open like 2-3 months now.
Yes, I come from an investment background. I still do that. I do private equity deals, structured finance. This is my first foray into retail. Okay.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. And it's sort of a labor of love. I am a foodie.
Okay.
I always enjoy... food has always been a very important part of my life.
Great. Welcome to the Table for Two.
Well, thank you. And this
this
is something I've been playing with for some time. The concept is pretty simple. It's very, very high-end coffee and pastry. I felt there was an opportunity in the market for it. Both in the kosher food world and in the world overall. I felt that the consumers' palates have been evolving, and they've become more and more sophisticated with
Correct.
time.
Correct.
And I feel they've been underserved by the existing choices, and I felt it would be a great opportunity. You know, the market was ripe for something special, sophisticated, but something that brought our culture, brought something that we enjoyed, that we really appreciated into the general market.
I think you've done that really well. And in the shop there, it's called Petit Shell. I hope I've mentioned that. And it's on the corner of 83rd and Lex.
85th and Lex.
85th and Lex. It's like the storefront. It's on a corner. It's all glass. You can see right into the store. And when you walk in, the first counter is all the different rogalach. I'm going to describe the rogalach in a minute, and you're going to tell us all about the different flavors. But there's also the different croissants. They are light, buttery, flaky croissants that no one else has got. I know that Costco does some buttery croissants, but they are completely different than these. They're not as flaky, and I love the flakiness. My mouth is watering like crazy. And what he does, you can buy a pretzel one. I'm just describing my experience when I went there. There was a pretzel one, there was a whole grain one, and a plain butter one, and you get them filled in a sandwich. So can you talk a little bit about those sandwiches? Because Elizabeth, we're going to go there afterwards. It's like nothing you've ever eaten in your life.
When designing the concept,
Yeah.
I wanted to offer something that was very, very specific, but also have the opportunity to give people different foods. You know, for different people wake up with different cravings, and I wanted to satisfy as many as I could, while staying focused with the offering. The idea I guess the brand started as a coffee and pastry concept, as a coffee and arugula concept, with the pastries being, right now we have 8 different arugula options,
Okay.
sweet and savory.
Right, I love the idea that there's a savoury rogalach.
Yes.
Back a couple of weeks ago during Purim, savoury hamantashen are coming out. Like I did a pastrami hamantashen.
That's interesting.
Right, so now it's all about savoury rogalach. I love that we're mixing all that up.
Yes.
I'm just holding up.
I brought just the sweet offering today.
Okay.
Because the savory ones are best served
Hot
and fresh. Yes.
Okay. Can we get this? We got this. This is, what am I holding here?
It's a cream cheese raspberry arugula.
Okay, it's wow, you can see the nice pink filling going around, layers and layers of filling. I should be able to describe this. I used to sell rogalach on QVC.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we would break it open. I'm going to do my QVC stunt where we would break it open,
Right.
and then we would show to the camera all the filling. So everyone can see the filling, and I'm going to squeeze it so everyone can see how soft it is. And it's got layer upon layer. You see swirl upon swirl of pink raspberry filling, and it's garnished on top with some sugared almonds.
Yes, and this is our I guess our most delicate sweet arugula. It's not intense. The sweetness isn't overwhelming. It's sort of a very, very fine cream cheese, and you've got just enough sweetness.
Okay, I'm gonna actually eat this, and I'm gonna pass it to ZK because we love to eat on this show. Oh my god. Okay, do you hear me chew? This is unreal. So moist, so soft. I'm gonna maybe pass them down to some of our other guests who are in the house, or maybe we'll eat them a little bit later. This is unreal. It's got that nice cream cheese. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly creamy.
Right.
It's a beautiful, harmonious balance of cream cheese and
a bit of
raspberry
sweetness,
filling
yes.
in a flaky, buttery
Dough.
Yeah. So unique, so different. Okay, so what else have we got in this box?
We have the classic, which is the chocolate. We do it with Nutella. It's chocolate Nutella. Now, our
who
pastries
doesn't love Nutella?
Our pastries are not chalav Yisrael.
Okay,
They are chalav stam. So,
okay. Maybe one day?
um,
We'll see.
unlikely, but
Okay, so again, I'm opening up the chocolate filling. I'm holding that up. And do we see all the layer upon layer of filling? Okay, wow. And I would imagine these are room temperature, but I imagine if we heated these up, they would be unbelievable.
They do taste better warm.
You get the bigger half, CK.
They are served warm in the store.
They are served warm.
Yes.
So everything is heated up. So
We bake everything fresh on location and heat it up before we serve it.
this is unbelievable. Oh my God. And I've eaten a lot of rogalach in my day. Wow. Okay, Elizabeth has a question for you. She's bursting.
I have two questions.
Two questions. Have you got a microphone there? You do. Great.
I have two questions. My
Okay.
first question is, what's the shelf life? If I want to drive into they sound so great. I want to drive into the city and get a big box. But we might not, maybe there are just a couple of us home that night, so we might each eat one. So my first question is, how long do they last fresh in terms of best prep? And number two is, could I put them in the freezer? Would they hold up in the freezer? And then we could eat them, I could serve them Shabbos morning to sleepover guests and things like that.
You sound like my QVC pitch.
Well, you can freeze everything. That's what my mother taught me. Everything can be
Good,
frozen.
I like that. That's
I
the
like
that was the
I
right
like-
answer.
Yeah, good.
But in terms of the optimal amount of time that to serving, I'd say that for the sweet ones, a day or two,
Okay.
and they're fine. You can always pop them in the oven for a half a minute to a minute at 350, and they'll be perfect.
Yeah, but not in the microwave, right?
Not in the microwave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't microwave them. I used
Totally
to tell
agree.
people that
Absolutely
when
not.
I very rarely use a microwave any case, but I want a crispiness. When I heat up my pizza, it's in an oven. I want crispiness, and
Yes, and this is part of the experience here is the crispiness, and you don't want to ruin that in the microwave.
yeah.
I'd say the savory ones don't hold up as well. Probably best same day.
Okay.
Same
Great.
day.
And they're all dairy, correct?
They are
Every
They are
flavor?
all dairy.
Everything is in there. Yeah.
It's butter, butter, butter,
Yum.
butter, butter.
Yum.
I love it. Right, butter is better. Now, we've touched on these beautiful croissants. I'm just going to make sure I did all of them. And this looks like a cinnamon one.
That is the dulce de leche.
Okay.
We have a cinnamon. There's a cinnamon one coming out soon.
Okay,
next.
stay tuned. Okay, I'm not going to eat this one right now,
Um,
but I will break this open. And oh my God, it's oozing! Look at that, it's oozing with dulce de leche.
Yes, it's a very very. That's probably the sweetest one.
Okay, but that's
Um,
okay. We like sweet.
Sweet is definitely okay. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to, before we wrap up with you, I hope everyone will stick around and hear the rest of the interviews we've got going. But Schmili has got a restaurant to run and a real career as well, a separate career. So he's one busy guy, and I really want to thank you for coming down. But I just want to talk about the sandwiches, the croissant sandwiches, because nobody else in the United States or the world is doing that. How did you get the concept for that?
I wanted to do sandwiches, but I didn't want to deviate from the focus, which is rugelach as far as the pastry is concerned. So I was playing around with different ideas. I was playing around with possibly doing challah sandwiches because it flows from the traditional rugelach.
Okay.
But I ended up settling on doing them on croissants, which croissants and rugelach are very similar. They're both
Yeah.
laminated pastries. They look
A
the same.
laminated pastry, is that what it's called?
They're both yes. They're,
Is
they're
that a
made from
term of
laminated
art?
dough. Sure.
Laminated dough. Did you know that? Did you ladies know that?
never
We
heard
all learned, and we're all big cooks here. So a laminated dough, what does it mean exactly?
I guess the doughs are they're. Wait, now you're stumping me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's I'm not a baker.
Okay.
I haven't I conceptualized these, but I didn't design them.
Okay.
I brought on.
Who's your team?
I went through a number of different
Chefs.
chefs, pastry chefs, some of the finest in the country, I should say.
Nice.
I started off with there's a fellow by the name of Zach Gulper. He has a bakery in Brooklyn called Bien Qui.
Okay, I don't know.
It's ranked one of the top 10 bakeries in the country consistently. So he was.
We got to check that out, guys.
So we started with him. I ended up bringing a partner on board, someone with a lot more experience running operations like this than I have. There's a fellow by the name of Oded Brenner.
Okay.
He has a chocolate, an international chocolate concept called Max Brenner that he.
Sure.
Okay.
He's in Australia.
Yes,
bald
yes,
man.
very proud.
The
The bald man, yes. So the bald man is is my partner here, and he's
nice.
he gets a lot more credit for these than I do.
Well, you both did a great job.
Thank you. So, and he gets credit for the sandwiches too. They are his. Again, I conceptualized them. He executed, and his stroke of genius is written all over the place.
I had a sandwich with like red horseradish and like goat cheese and avocado. I had a few different ones. So I might be mixing up some of the fillings. It was a blue cheese, pear, and fig croissant. Like, it is unbelievable that it's just not your average sandwich shop, and I really appreciate that because I love bread and I love croissants and I love a fresh sandwich. No, I would never buy one and take it with me because it will get soggy. I'm so into eating it fresh.
The sandwiches won't hold up. They need to be eaten fresh. They are
with a nice cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
And the nice ambiance you've got there.
You're making me salivate for my own product now. Absolutely.
Then I've done a good job.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to hold on to these. You think I'm going to send these back? No way.
They're all yours.
Thank you very much. And we're going to try it. We're going to try to come back up and are you open Sundays? What are your store hours?
We are actually open 7 days a week. We lease the store out to a non-Jew.
Oh, for Shabbat, yeah.
Yes. So, starts about 2 hours before this month, 2 hours after this month.
Oh, very nice.
The store's leased out. It's a complete, total arm's length lease.
Okay, beautiful. Everything accordance to halacha. Fantastic.
It is.
And who's the supervision under?
It's Rabbi Melman.
Great.
Yeah. He does the churro store also, which is not too far from you.
He does the churro store, yes. Yeah. He's the Balmachsha of Manhattan.
Yeah. Very nice. And what are your hours?
We're open on weekdays. We're open from 7 to 10.
Okay. Oh,
and
nice.
And we're open we're open till 11 on the weekends.
Okay, great. Matzah Shabbos. Go there for a date, Sunday night, date night. Grab your husband or grab your wife. Take her out of the kitchen. Take her for a nice cup of coffee or before Sunday morning for brunch.
It's a perfect nightcap.
And it's really inexpensive. I know, I shouldn't tell him. I don't want him raising the prices, but it's really for those sandwiches, it's really well priced.
Yeah, we tried pricing them fairly.
Yeah, no.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap.
But they're fair.
They're fair, and you're getting really high quality ingredients. So thank you very much for that and for coming in and sharing with us today and bringing us goodies.
Thank you.
All right, I know that Schmili has to leave, so you can just pop your headphones down and okay, you can breathe a sigh of relief, right? We get it. Sometimes we get a little bit nervous. Okay, ladies, I'm going to get you guys to all move up one. I don't know how you want to do it. Maybe, okay, however you want to do it. Okay, well, they were like the most. I'm just going to pop their rogalach away because it's going to be really tempting to shove them in my face while we're eating. Okay, I'm just going to clean up a little bit. Okay, Shifra, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's been busy, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been.
I know, a lot going on. Okay, I think we just go like that.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Elizabeth's just getting settled in her seat. So let's talk Joy of Kosher. Another great magazine is coming out.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, when's the release date? I was actually really lucky when I got a preview copy on the internet.
Right. It's already out.
Okay.
And it's available. The single copies are available online in your local supermarket. You could get it in Whole Foods and Barnes & Nobles and ShopRite and any of your kosher local stores.
Okay.
So it's really available for anyone. And it's a great guide for Pesach.
Yeah.
We got, I don't know how many, but a lot of different kosher chefs gave their tips for the home cook.
I've got one in there.
Yeah,
Jamie asked me to give her something.
So yeah, Jamie for her letter had included like a lot of fun tips.
Yeah.
And they were really great. They helped me in my, beginning of Pesach preparations.
Is this are you making your first Pesach?
What?
No, you're not making.
No.
What was your favorite tip?
I would love to pretend it was my first Pesach. But been there. So yeah, but the magazine is great. It's you know what, really I feel that Pesach is a great time to just celebrate the fresh natural ingredients and not get too complicated, and you're going to have delicious food.
Yeah,
So that's what the magazine is all about.
You know, I was talking last week, I had Miriam Pascal in and Paula Shaw, and we're just talking about, you know, have your fun desserts too.
Exactly.
And go for exercise, you know, go for a walk around the block after all the meals. But it doesn't have to be heavy potato. And it doesn't have to be that. It can be paleo. I saw it. Where did I see Pesach paleo?
We did in the magazine.
In the magazine.
Did how Pesach eating is really the paleo diet, which is so interesting. Right. It was so fascinating. We had a nutritionist discuss it, and it was really interesting. And we actually included Paula's in the magazine this issue because she came out with a new cookbook.
Yeah.
So we have a cookbook feature, and we give our readers a sneak peek. So it's about 2 pages every issue. And I feel like it's so exciting when a cookbook comes out and you're always curious, like, should you get it? What's it like? So reading the article, it gives you like a good picture of what each cookbook is about.
I don't know I can't remember who else you had in them. You had,
So talking about like no potatoes, Naomi Ross did make ahead sides. Beautiful. You saw the roasted ratatouille. Yeah. It looked gorgeous.
She did. And
it was
stunning.
Concentric
circles.
Yeah, concentric circles. It wasn't too hard. Like I'm not like a fancy, type of cook, and it was really doable. So that was really exciting. And the cover, we had that steak.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Juicy. We love steak.
What?
Steak in our house. I like that you had Klein, a new contributor.
She's a new contributor. We always like to feature new people in the magazine and give like a really good picture at the world of kosher. So we have different people contributing. Time and Dina used to be a chef at Prime Grill, I think she worked.
Yeah.
Now she's a private chef, and she did some really great salads, really unique.
Yeah, she's really talented as well as beautiful inside and out. She's exactly. I'm a big fan of hers. But it's nice to see, new people coming into the field and being, the joy of kosher
and it's
team.
Really amazing to see in general. Like we just Schmili come, and it's just amazing to see this today. It's exciting. It really is.
His story is so different, foods, having a magazine or having really pushing the limit. It's come in the last couple of years. Let's just talk about gadgets. Yeah. I know you had about that and really good knife, and
100%.
But you've featured quite a bit of gadgets in the magazine.
Yeah, we did
this week.
A range of interesting different things that you could add to your kitchen. That ranges from the price of $20 to a few $100s, but different things that really could help your cooking. From the simple cast iron, which is what we cooked our steak in, which is so cheap, and we discussed the koshering issues with the cast iron, which is interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I get a lot of questions online about that, and I did a lot of research on it myself. It's so interesting. I think for years I did it wrong. And
it's simple.
After getting questions, I went, oh my gosh, I have to reevaluate this.
I think a cast iron could make its own show and segment.
I mean, that could be like a whole cookbook. Because there's so
I don't
much
know
you can
anything.
do with it.
I'm afraid of cast iron cooking.
So you have to read the article. It's going to really help you out. Steven Weinberger, who's really great.
Yeah, fabulous. Big fan.
Such a great cook and foodie and experiments all the time. So he did this article and he wrote all about it, how to care for it. And we got the okay to write about the koshering issues with it. And
got some good halachic backing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the food that you cook in a cast iron is really it gives you that sear. You want to sear anything or fry anything. It's really keeps up the temperature. It also goes from stovetop to oven, which is great. It's great for, the steak we did, but it's also great for frittata, which is simple. You don't, or patties or latkes.
You need a milchig one and a fleischig one.
Right.
The truth is, if you just want one, go with fleisch.
Yeah.
It creates this unbelievable crust on a steak.
Have you got one?
I do. Yeah. And then you stick it in the oven,
way to cook a steak.
And it cooks right through. Totally. Just like a little thyme and olive oil and garlic, and you
that sounds
sear it and then stick it in the oven. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we did a knife talking about knives. You said it is really important. So we featured a very inexpensive knife sharpener, which we loved. It's about $35. And that is the key. Whenever I go and do demos or people ask me, I'm like, you don't have to have a $500 knife. You really just have to keep sharpening it.
Right.
Yep.
So that really helps cooking when you're chopping your sweet potatoes or root vegetables. If you want to veer away from potatoes, a good knife is going to do the trick.
Right. butternut squash, sweet
Yeah.
potatoes.
And it's all about the knife. Like,
Right.
it could take you like 5 seconds to cut a butternut squash with a good knife.
Right, I had a global knife. I don't know if
Right.
I don't know if I mentioned on the show, but if you follow me on Instagram, people know I have a great set of global knives. I dropped one on the floor. Normally nothing would happen. It literally snapped in two.
Aw.
So I should write to the
That's a
company.
loss.
I did tag them on Instagram, but with a broken knife.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine, I had done a favor for a friend, and they wanted to pay me back somehow, so they sent me they see
Oh,
my
that's so
post
sweet.
and they sent one overnight to my house as a thank you. So I put it aside for Pesach. It was only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I've been crazy cooking for Pesach since a week before Purim, and my new knife is unbelievable. I made 20 quarts of vegetable soup, and I cut up my vegetables very tiny.
Right.
I make first a stock, and then I throw in all the vegetables, and then tiny little pieces cut up like the tip of your
Right.
thumb, like Israeli salad style. And it was so sharp. It took
It
like
makes-
no
it
time
makes
at
a world
all.
of a difference,
It's your
yeah.
best friend in the kitchen.
Almonds.
Okay.
So you see it like really makes it softens it.
Can I just give this is going to be our What's for Dinner segment, sponsored
Okay.
by Gourmet Glut. And Shifra Klein is of Joy of Kosher magazine is going to be running our segment along with me.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you to Gourmet Glut
Yeah,
for
thank you to Gourmet
sponsoring.
Glut. Yeah,
Aren't they
great?
great?
They're really great. I love shopping there.
Isn't it? I
Yeah.
love when I bump into Shifra who lives in Crown Heights and I see her
I'm like
doing,
randomly there.
she's doing her
They have
shopping.
everything.
Yeah, they really do.
So they look glossy. What were they soaked in?
So they were soaked in water overnight, and it just softens it and helps it blend.
Does it have to have
So
a
I'm
certain
gonna
amount of
do-
water, just as long as it's covered?
No, you just have to cover the almonds. So I'm just going to do some right now. The recipe is 1 cup of almond to 4 cups of water to make the milk.
Okay,
so we
so
soaked
one-
it, then we drained it, and now in the blender you put 1 cup of almonds and 4 cups of water. If you want
It's
it to be
1 to 4.
Yeah, if you want it to be a bit creamier, you can do 3. If you want it to be a bit more watery, you can do 4 to 5.
Okay,
But you
and
can
this is
start
how
with
you
a
would do
little bit
almond
less.
butter too? No, almond butter is
Almond
just
butter is just almonds with a pinch of salt if you want. If it's not really blending, you could add a drizzle of oil to let it start going. It helps
Okay.
it move.
Okay.
That's almond butter. And we actually did in the magazine, we had an almond butter dressing, which is delicious.
Oh yeah.
Which we did with Hani Applebaum from Busy in Brooklyn, did
Ah.
the whole spiralizing.
Yeah, I
feature.
love that. We love
So we
honey.
did it with cucumber noodles, which was delicious.
Yeah, she's done that.
Yeah.
You've got to eat that very
Oh,
fast.
that sounds fun.
Yeah, she bought that to Kiss the Kosher Cook when she had the
Yeah.
fundraiser.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I bet you could do it with like zucchini ribbons.
So I
I
have
do
the recipe,
I do it with
so-
zucchinis.
Yeah, I would do zucchini too.
And then you just let it blend.
Okay, so do we see what Shifra's got? This is 1 to 4 ratio.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could do a little bit less than 4, like I said, if you want it very creamy.
Okay, let's hear that going. Okay, I'm going to describe to everybody that's listening. We've in a new
Could they hear?
yeah. Can
They hear you.
They hear me.
Okay,
they hear
just
both,
making
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Another 10 seconds of noise.
Right, okay, and I'm going to talk through it. For those who are listening to our show, Shifra's got a NutriBullet, which is brought in by Elizabeth Kurtz because Naomi Nachman forgot half of it home. I bought the machine and not the top. So we've got Shifra blending in the NutriBullet.
Which is a great thing to buy. If you don't want to buy a blender for Pesach, a NutriBullet is a great thing to have.
Bed Bath & Beyond. They are
Costco, too.
Yeah, Costco has them also 20% off,
do.
and we make a lot of smoothies. I do kale, avocado, half an apple, and frozen pineapple with a little coconut water.
Which is amazing on
So
Pesach
detox,
because you need that
detox.
morning detox. You
Oh.
need that light, but something filling and nutritious, and you feel good food.
Obsessed with my NutriBullet. My daughter Simi got us all into it. Okay, so Shifra has taken it out of the machine.
This is basically the way it looks. This is going to be a bit creamy because I didn't put too much water.
Okay,
And you
good.
can also use blanched almonds. It's fine, but just make sure the almonds aren't toasted.
Okay, do we need to plug in the
So-
machine?
Oh, really? What would the toasted piece of it do?
I think
What
it
would
just
that do to it?
change the flavor.
But to it,
yeah.
not
And
not a
the
good
almond-
flavor.
Yeah, and the almond milk will last in your fridge for about a week. I would store it in a glass jar because that also helps maintain the freshness.
Okay, do we need to turn on the... Okay.
I'm just going to transfer the
We're going to transfer. We've turned the studio of Nachum Segal Network right here on the Lower East Side into a kitchen studio. Okay, who says you don't need much in
No,
life?
you really don't.
You don't. You know what?
I'm sure a lot of people's Pesach kitchens aren't that
Are
much bigger,
burners.
right?
You know what? But you know what?
Exactly.
These things, I've boiled a 5-pound corned beef on a
Oh, you can. These things.
one
work
of these
well,
things.
yeah.
You know, I sometimes have to make 11 corned beefs for people, and there's only so much stovetop one can have. And I've set some up in that. I did some meatballs the other day on my Pesach burner. There's a lot you can do with this little burner. You're traveling. We talk about kosher food traveling, and you can't always get kosher food where you are. Like when you go to Hawaii and you need to Puerto Rico, you need to do your own cooking. You just bring one of these little.
So I put a cheesecloth on a
Okay.
strainer.
Where does one
and I'm
buy
gonna
a
put
cheesecloth?
that- you can buy it in a hardware store. They all have them.
A
Like I bought
hardware
it near
store
Gourmet
has a
Glot.
cheap-
There's a hardware store like in the
on
parking
Washington
lot.
Avenue next to Carlos and Gabby's.
Yeah, but then no, there's one in the parking lot. I forgot what they're called, but whatever.
Oh, yes, variety.
So,
Variety
yeah,
Kitchen.
I
I think
got
even
it there.
Gourmet Glot has cheesecloth,
Could
though.
be they do also.
Yeah.
I think they do.
But if they don't, you could get it at a hard.
It's funny that you buy a cheesecloth at a hardware store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Why?
where I found.
Why is that?
Ask them.
I don't know. You have to like separate out the
I
nails.
have no clue. So anyway, to really get it like strained out, you just put it through.
Okay, is it
And
not good to
then-
eat this thing? It's probably got all the almond skins.
So this is the almond pulp. Actually, some people use it to make almond flour as well.
Ah.
But I mean, I make almond flour with just regular almonds. But you can
course you
take
do.
if you want to, you can take the leftover almond pulp, put it on a sheet tray, and like toast it in a low temperature oven for a bit, and then you can use that
To blend up.
as almond flour.
Wow, this
Which
is
is
getting
really cool. Like, if
very
you wanna
ambitious.
use-
Wow.
If you want to use every part of the almond, but this is really fine. So if you see, you have beautiful creamy almond milk.
That's
that comes
nice.
right out.
I would like it creamy like that.
Yeah. So then you would put just like 3
Yeah.
cups of water. And then what we did in the magazine, which I'll show you right now,
This is fun.
is we made, and it's so simple. It's really not hard.
Yeah.
I do it with my kids, which is, they love to do it. It's fun, like to see milk being made.
Made from almonds, right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I once made potato bread. I took potatoes and we turned it into bread in front of our eyes. We couldn't believe it turned into a dough.
That's really cool.
So it's amazing.
So I'm going to
what you
strain
can
it
do.
out. And then I'm going to make a delicious chocolate sauce with it.
Oh.
Yum.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun.
And like we were saying, like it's all about using like
this?
yeah, you could dip it in.
for our
This is
rucola.
just getting better and
I
better.
brought bananas, but rucola sound better, especially right before Pesach,
No, we'll do it with bananas. Okay, cool.
because we have to like.
I love that though, because it's going to be like a lighter chocolate sauce,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
light.
amazing for Pesach for so many different desserts. Like one of the pieces of equipment I like that I finally purchased for Pesach
Yeah.
is a sorbet maker.
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
Because
That's
you know
nice.
you can find
Is
them
that
on
the one
sale.
with the
I
fruit?
do. I like the queen. No, not that. Not the Yonana or whatever.
Yeah, my brother has that.
This I got, which is also not a bad idea, but it just smashes fresh fruit. I like it's a Cuisinart sorbet maker. They're on sale all the time for like $40.
Oh, nice.
And you just freeze the bowl and you make a sorbet base. And then we make homemade sorbet over and over because it is so expensive. The ice cream products are so expensive over Pesach.
Yeah.
So much less expensive and so fresh tasting if you make it yourself.
Yeah.
And then you use this kind of chocolate sauce to dress it up with maybe chocolate chips or almonds or
Oh,
coconut.
yum. Okay.
So now you have a fancy dessert, but not such a crazy, fattening, heavy
oh,
dessert.
it's really hot.
best sounding cooking is a sizzle. I love that.
I don't know if
sizzle.
the almond milk was supposed to sizzle, but it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
It's going to be yum.
It shouldn't sizzle at home.
It should not be that hot.
Just
okay.
letting you know, it shouldn't be that hot. And then we're just gonna let the almond milk get hot, which it already is.
And
So
we're going to make
turn it off,
a ganache over
and we're
there.
gonna take it off the heat because we don't want the chocolate to burn. So you
Okay.
take it off the heat and you put the chocolate. The recipe is 1 cup almond milk to close to 2 cups of chocolate, and you could always thin it out if you have to.
Now, 2 cups of chocolate. Now, can we talk weight?
Yeah.
Is that 16 ounces of chocolate?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Right, because sometimes like that chocolate, it's hard to stuff that into it. People will stuff that
Right.
into
Right,
the cup
okay.
measure.
Right.
So
Exactly.
okay, should we
this is
disconnect
off.
it, or you think it'll?
Yeah, we could disconnect
Could you
it.
use chocolate chips?
So I wouldn't use chocolate chips. It's a good
Okay.
question because
You're gonna disconnect it.
I found that like you never know. Here, I'll do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You never know, especially like when it comes to Pesach, the different ingredients that are in chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to make sure you're using a really good quality chocolate. I mean,
Okay.
this recipe
Give me
is
a brand.
always-
Give me a brand.
Always.
There's Schneider's just came out. Schneider's from France just came out with a whole line of different chocolates.
Noblesse.
So also baking chocolate. Schmerling has the Noblesse. That's what I'm using now, and also Schufra's baking chocolate is decent.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Is that
Yeah,
the big
yeah.
Alpros? What about Alpros?
I've never used Alpros
know those-
Well, I
before.
think that one's dairy.
Okay.
The Alpros?
I've never used Alpros before.
Yeah, I've used it.
So
For,
if you've used it, then you need something that you can really rely on, and that is going to work. Because with chocolate, sometimes they put other ingredients in,
Right.
and then it doesn't melt right.
Right. You
And
want
then
it to
you're
be
left-
at least 42% real chocolate
Exactly.
in there.
And then this
some
is
of those
just-
products.
that's a number, 42%.
42% at a minimum.
At a
I mean, if
minimum.
you
I
like
think the ideal
bittersweet
number is
chocolate, it would be
56%.
If you want,
for baking.
it's so some of the kosher brands, it's hard to find more than 42. Some of the French or like Scharfenbergers, but Scharfenbergers is not kosher for Pesach, so you have to really look at the packaging. I actually wrote
Right.
a whole article about how to buy good chocolate.
Yum. Okay, what were you
So,
just
yeah, like
saying,
I
Shifra,
said-
about 56?
So 56% I think is great for baking because it has the
Okay.
right amount of bitterness and sweetness.
Okay.
And like I said, there's so many kosher brands
I'm
doing
going
it
to have a
nowadays.
peek.
So I'm just mixing it until it becomes smooth. And this recipe is just 2 ingredients. So you really want to use good quality.
Yeah.
things. You could also spice it up. You could put a pinch of cayenne and cinnamon. It could
like
be
that.
like a Mexican chocolate sauce.
Oh.
And that's really good. And you could do that on Pesach. And
Doesn't
you
need
know,
vanilla extract. Doesn't need a splash of vanilla
so you
extract
can
to bring
if
out
you'd
the
like.
chocolate.
You
Yeah, we're
can.
going to taste it, will we?
You could also put a pinch of salt. Salt is really
Chili?
chili.
Can
Like
we
I
get-
said, cayenne pepper.
Can we? Yeah. I know if
can
you
put
can
a
get
pinch.
I like
chili
the
for
coarse
Pesach.
salt in it. So good.
Oh,
That
I
sweet
bought-
and savory.
I
thing.
bought all these
exactly. So
salt.
this is it. This
Actually,
is the sauce.
Miriam Wallach taught me a little bit about flavored salts. And
I
stuff.
love that.
So when I was in Hawaii, I bought black salt and orange salt
great.
and
Yeah, they're
pink salt
great.
and chili salt.
Yeah.
And
It's great with desserts.
Yeah.
love it. Who'd have thought that salt? I mean, it's become so popular, salted caramel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's our sauce. It's a nice thick chocolate ganache, and you could put it over ice cream. You can put it over fruit, nuts, whatever you want.
Come on, let's.
Beautiful
So,
glossy color.
yeah.
Beautiful glossy
Oh,
color.
if we can see that all on camera. ZK's
I
an
forgot to bring
amazing.
plates. I'm gonna dip it in.
Okay. Oh yeah, plates. Okay, we're just gonna dip it and pass it. Okay, maybe we can use
You
the
could pass
box.
a rug. What?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Got the rogalach over here. We can use that as a plate if we need to.
True. True.
Okay, so we've got that's a beautiful banana. Can I just say? No
really is.
schmutz on that. Oh, that looks so good. Would that harden? Can you use that like to,
Yeah,
to
it's
make
gonna
chocolate chip strawberries for Pesach? How nice would
Will
that
it harden
be?
up in the fridge?
I don't know if it's. I think it will harden, but I don't know if it's gonna be like. Look, I don't know how
Right, my-
great it's gonna
Okay.
look.
All right. Okay. All right.
That's
Let's.
funny, but it's fun to taste. So
Okay, I'm
we'll
just
give
going
you
to pull
taste.
a little piece
Yeah.
off. Okay. All right, I'm going to pass that to you. Okay, we're going to hold that up. I'm going to try. Oh my God, the chocolate sauce is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Fresh almond milk chocolate sauce.
I'm going to see if I can do this at my Pesach program.
Yeah, it's a fun thing
Try.
to
I've already
show
sent
people,
my
yeah.
curriculum off, but we can sneak in some more recipes.
For sure.
It's hard, damn. I always forget bananas. They're laughing. Come on. I could ask my 7-year-old.
I mean,
I mean,
Oh my God.
yummy.
yeah, and in the magazine we served it. We made sugar and spice almonds. We did sweet almonds with some cayenne or spicy
You know what you could
peppers.
maybe
That's
do
fun.
also, so that if you're worried about the color changing in the fridge, is maybe dip them in cinnamon sugar or colored
that's
sugar
fun.
or
Or
coconut or
maybe
nuts.
crumbled nuts, right.
And then the color issue wouldn't be an issue, and then
That's
you
a
could
great
put them in the
idea.
freezer or in the fridge, and they'd last a
is
while. They wouldn't
delicious.
last too long in my house. That's what happens. I don't know about you guys. One batch of like sweet potato almond butter muffins come out
Yeah.
for
Oh,
Pesach,
forget
and
it.
I never get to even wrap them up. They just fly off the counter, and
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
the
everyone's like
end of
has
that.
a big appetite, right?
Yeah, like sort of insatiable. I don't know
Well,
why.
Shifra has boys,
Yeah,
Oh, so you get that.
yeah.
Okay, can we dip this rogalach in?
Here I'll go.
Should we do the dolce de leche in rogalach? No, maybe not.
Why not?
Okay, yeah, you
Why
think?
not?
Okay, I just want to taste it plain. This has been a real eating show.
Yeah, and it's fun
Okay.
to have some rogalach before Pesach, so
I know this is
that's always fun.
now we're mixing chametz and pesach.
You want
Okay.
to dip?
Yeah, you can drizzle. Okay. How fun is this show? Just eating. Okay. That is outrageous. I like the hot and the cold.
You can taste the butter.
His stuff is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it makes a difference when you use, like, you taste the difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That was really, Shifra, I love the concept. People, get stuck on Pesach recipes and it's hard. And I think the whole almond butter, the whole movement using almond milk, going dairy-free, turning almonds into dairy products has become, so popular. Our friend Yosef Silva from This American Bite, he does not eat any dairy
Oh, wow.
products, and he's done a lot of
He must be, like, really experimenting.
Yeah, especially
That's
Pesach,
interesting. Yeah.
I think it's really fantastic. I know Paula Shoya has in a book a dipping sauce with almond butter in it, and we're going to
I
talk.
think you have to just like both of you said and Paula said last week, you just have to try to mirror that sort of mouthfeel of non Pesach products, and then people feel more satiated.
Right.
Like dips or things that
Right.
like quinoa
True.
or nuts, things that have a crunchy feel and not just have a cracked matzah
Right.
feel.
I was so excited, speaking of quinoa, and I had Rabbi Elephant, the head of the OU, on the show last year. And I said and I know not everybody holds of quinoa as it is,
Right,
but
but-
once the OU gave it kind of went a little bit more mainstream. The Star Cane Baltimore did a couple of years ago. Once they did it, I jumped on that bandwagon. And now the OU's made it on their list. But I said, after 2,000 years, we've got a new food group.
I know.
How crazy is
It's
that?
amazing.
It's amazing. I think it's a great. I've been incredibly inspired and happy that quinoa was, kind of given the okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Or for those people who use it, I think it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's nice to have a new addition. Let's, thank you to Shifra, and I hope you
Thanks
can
so
stick
much.
around a little bit more till the end. The hour is getting close to, we're more than halfway through the show. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is also heard on Arutz Sheva English Radio and is sponsored by Abels and Hyman. We taste better. I wish we could have some hot dogs now, but you know what? Abels and Hyman has a great line of hot dog products also out for Pesach. So there's
That's
really
amazing.
and you can make Pesach rolls. I know it's kind of like a little sacrilegious to eat something that looks like bread, but it's
Right.
totally okay if you're eating. I believe you need it's gebrachs. In any case, if you do eat gebrachs, you can make a Pesach roll. I think Paula Shoya has some.
And how fun is that midweek to like get one of those portable grills or invest in a grill pan and like have a night of hot dogs and hamburgers?
Right, and fun toppings.
Totally.
Yeah, you can really.
Grilling is fun on Pesach.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Grilling
I love
is fun
grilling on
all year
Pesach.
round.
It is.
Pesach is like, it's a real change.
It
It
is.
feels so exciting. It's true.
I bought a grill last year. Every year I buy myself one piece of equipment. Like I said, 2 years ago I bought myself the sorbet maker for Pesach. This year I bought myself a really big, wide grill pan because I like to still make, grilled chicken, and we're going to do hamburgers and hot dogs one night, Chol Hamoed. And it just makes it easier to dice it up. You could do some of those coffee rub steaks and
Exactly.
stuff like that.
I actually have some steaks for dinner tonight.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
What are you doing to 'em?
not too much. They're a really nice quality piece of meat. Fat is flavour, so it's got a nice bit of fat marbling through it. A little salt, a little olive oil. Just toss them under the grill for a couple of minutes, and
I'm coming over.
yeah, coming over. It's a bit far on Shabbos to walk.
Yeah.
We're so far away on the same neighbourhood, different
That's
sides
right.
of town, but
That's
you
right.
are welcome anytime.
Thank you.
We should have
I like that.
a barbecue, but
We should.
we have to chat about you. You've got so much going on. You were in LA a couple of weeks ago shooting your
That was
cookbook.
very exciting. Very exciting.
All these great cookbooks are coming out. Just
It's
keeps
good.
us on our
It's
toes.
good. You know what? Our world, there's like an insatiable need for recipes. We're one of the only cultures that just week after week, 52 weeks a year plus holidays, we are looking to be inspired when we come to our tables, and we want our guests to be happy, and we want our families to be happy, and we all have those foods that we make week over week, but everybody is looking for new recipes, and that's why there are hundreds of websites out there, and every single book seems to do better than the last book, and it's amazing that everybody's supporting each other and everybody's bringing great ideas to the table.
Literally, it's really unbelievable. And then you've got, besides the cookbooks, the blogs and the websites and the Instagrams
great.
and the Pinterest. Pinterest is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so
Beautiful.
inspiring.
It's intimidating and inspiring all at the same time.
Right, it's so true. When someone pins one of my recipes, I'm like, really? You liked it? I'm like, I was so happy because I'm I don't use those fancy cameras, and I don't have all that.
But isn't it amazing when you run into
people? I love when people do it.
Isn't it amazing though? Also, when you run into somebody, whether it's in Gourmet Glot or one of your classes or something, and they come over to you and say, you changed my Shabbos, or my husband loves this recipe that you created. It's funny how it literally can totally make your day. You just feel like
nice.
I'm so happy that I helped you.
Right. No, it's so true, and you are really, you've been doing this. One of the longest out there.
I've been doing it a long time.
How long have you been? When did you start?
About 6 years, I think. About 6 years ago.
Quite a long.
It wasn't very crowded then. Like it was, we were one of the, I started kind of on a whim, walking around thinking there's so much available online for the non-kosher world. Already food was huge online, but very little had been done online in the kosher world. And people were calling and asking for recipes, and it was even before the Google sharing days, where for me to send a recipe, I had to literally write it up and send it to somebody in email, which, as easy as that is, seemed like so much trouble. So I started posting recipes in folders, and that led to a website.
Yeah, your website is fantastic, and I like that you've got videos. You've got a lot of cooking videos.
Videos are great. The videos are also on AOL and Yahoo under a series called Recipe Box TV. There's a grilling series, and it's great.
It's so cute.
I love doing them.
How did they find you?
Oh, that's a kind of a good story. So,
that's cute.
A friend of mine heard that actually Yahoo was looking for food content online and more food videos.
That's so funny. Back then, because now
encouraged me to go. And for a while, I was just too nervous, and I thought the whole kosher thing would get in the way. And I went for a screen test, and it was just one of those things that I was fortunate enough that it worked out. And then AOL picked it up from Yahoo. So it's fun. So I do videos about twice a month. We shoot new videos.
Twice a month? That's a lot.
And it takes a long time. It takes
a
long time. It takes the whole day to do about 3-4 minute videos. It takes the entire day, if you can believe it.
Do you have to do voiceovers and stuff after that?
And then I go in the next day to do voiceover. You have to do pickups and voiceover and all that.
What's a pickup?
A pickup would be maybe something that didn't shoot quite right that day. You're going to talk over that part because they're going to clip it out, or they're going to clip something in. Or it's also kind of what voiceover is anywhere where the voice isn't so clear, they're going to lay the voice over the images.
Oh, that's so neat.
It is neat.
Because the TV that I've done has always been live, and we're standing still.
Well, you're so good live. That's why. You're just so fun and perky and.
Thank you. But yeah, it's definitely, your brain's very on. I mean, right now we're very on because you're talking on radio and all done together. But it's doing a cooking show, there are so many components that you got to think about. Am I going to burn it? And I'm talking my way through it. I know when I give cooking demos and I'm like talking about the brisket or the ribs, but I've got onion sauteing and I'm like, I smell something's going. The onions are going that little bit stage too. We cook with all our senses. The next stage is smell burn, and I'm like, I gotta run back.
Or even if it's a dressing you've made 500 times, there's something about when you're up in front of people or in front of a camera, suddenly you go like, wait, did that have sugar in it? I forgot. Sugar, salt? What is that? Is that sugar?
I had a crazy experience. I did, my young friend, Chef Eitan Bernath, the 12-year-old superstar, who was on Chopped.
Sure.
So he taught me how to make churros. He taught me, we did
so
Table
adorable.
for Two. Were you around? No, that was maybe two Gourmet Glut shows ago. I'm not sure. And he taught us on camera. You can watch the Table for Two. I think it was the last week of December. Maybe it was a Hanukkah show. It was right after Hanukkah. So we did churros as an homage to Hanukkah. And I thought, okay, great. I've learned now how to make churros. I'm going to now do it in a cooking demo, and I give Eitan all the credit that he showed me how to do it. And so you put churro dough in a piping bag, and I'm piping it in a cooking demo that I was hired for a couple of weeks ago, and I'm piping the churro dough into hot oil, and the bag explodes. I have done a lot of cooking classes, like hundreds. And nothing has really ever happened like that before. So I was like, okay, we're going to turn them into beignets now. And I just made little dough balls and throw them into the oil. You got to really think on your feet when you're speaking.
It's so good, though, for the people who were there. in the end, because it's so inspiring for them to see that even for someone who's so seasoned and such a professional, that sometimes it doesn't work out and you just got to change
They were
gear.
so happy.
Doesn't mean go in the garbage.
So
It
true.
means just change gears.
They said to me, you made yourself seem so normal. I'm like, okay, great.
For sure. It's so true.
I was happy. Like, that's what happens. Sometimes we take a recipe and we dump it out. When I was practicing making 8-ounce churros, I bombed out a few times. So, you got to practice.
I think people also like to hear, at the end of Pesach, are you ready to get back in your kitchen? And they like to hear that even people who like the kitchen, who are experienced in the kitchen and find inspiration at looking at the tomatoes or the tomatillos, sometimes we also go like, okay, I'm tired.
I'm exhausted.
I'm
Pizza for dinner.
tired. One of those new restaurants sounds really good.
Yeah, I have not eaten out.
Bless
I'm
you.
sorry. Sneezing on air. See? Everything happens. You can sneeze or cough or hiccup or whatever. So it's really, with Pesach coming up, there's so much. What piece of advice, and I've asked this from everybody that I've had on the show the last couple of weeks, as our show comes to an end, and, what piece of advice can you give from what you've done and through your website that people can search and learn about Pesach?
Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind, I know you spoke about this last week, but the first thing that always comes to mind is just plan. Be organized and plan. Start not to make it, rule over you for 3 months before Pesach, but I like to start thinking about what are the staple things I make and what are the new recipes I want to try. So you can get, there's tons of blogs out there and all these great cookbooks. Paula's new cookbook is terrific.
Yeah, I love it.
And I have a special site for Passover. It's called
Oh.
gourmetpassovercooking.com, and it has over 1,000 recipes that are all, kosher for Pesach and ready to go. It's like a special segment of my website. You can also access my regular website, gourmetkoshercooking.com, but the Passover site is special just for Passover. So I always like to say, plan ahead, keep it fresh, keep it simple. And I like to keep things mostly, I wouldn't call it for me paleo, but things that are naturally kosher for Pesach. Instead of making all those cakes that have cake meals and lots of special Passover ingredients that can get really, really pricey, I try to also do, like I said, sorbets and cookies and meringues and fruits, and I have a great apple cake on there with a little bit of almond extract and just a small amount of potato starch, and it comes out super moist and super tasty. And I serve that, with a little bit of strawberry sorbet, and it looks beautiful and it tastes fresh and it tastes light. And get your kids involved. That's the other thing, is don't make it this dreadful drudgery, I'm stuck in the kitchen. I like to get everybody involved. I like everyone to pick their recipe that they want to make so they can help. And then go out and buy whatever's just too challenging. If it's overwhelming you, Pesach should be a happy time. It becomes a memorable time for families. So you shouldn't do things that make you feel overwhelmed and unhappy. So keep it simple, keep it small, keep it fresh, and keep it happy.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
that.
that's
I like
nice.
it. Keep it happy.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
like
message.
that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Sure.
How do people find out more about Elizabeth Kurtz? Where do we?
So you can go to gourmetkoshercooking.com. That's the first place you can find out about me. You can look me up on AOL and Yahoo. My video series are on my regular website. They're also on a video series called Recipe Box TV. And I'm very excited. I have an upcoming cookbook coming up right after.
I cannot wait for this book to come out. I've been
I've been working on this
Talking
book for
about
a long
years.
time. A long time I've been working on this book, and the general theme and concept of the book is easy enough for every day, but special enough for Shabbos. And that's really my motto. A lot of the things I make during the week, if I dress them up a bit, they're some of the same recipes I also make for Shabbos. Because I think that, when you're a person who wants to make challah through dessert, you can't have any one of those things that are too overwhelming. You got to keep it all, like I said before, fresh and simple, so easy enough for every day and special enough for Shabbos. So it's 200 non-dairy recipes for Shabbos, and they're releasing it either right before the Chagim or right before Hanukkah.
Oh, okay. So we've got to stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We'll have you
and
back for
hopefully
that.
you'll have me back, and we could talk about it all
And I was
more
so
in depth.
I was so excited that Elizabeth asked me to do recipe testing.
Yes, I had Naomi not only recipe tested, she has a recipe in the book.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about my fish recipes. I
Yum.
love to create.
It's a good recipe.
I've got some
It's a
fish
classic.
recipes for you too coming up soon.
Yeah, that's
also.
exciting. That's a great concept, cookbook. Good luck. That's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Thank you.
Okay, we will hear more about all that coming up in the next
Yeah.
couple of months. We've had a really packed show. We had Schmili Greenstein from Petite Shell with all these delicious rugelach, and we had a bit of a tasting. We had a cooking demo with Shifra Klein talking about her amazing magazine for Pesach. It's on the stands now. Grab your own copy.
And you could also subscribe online,
Oh.
joyofkosher.com/magazine. And we have an offer. You can get Jamie's cookbook for free if you subscribe for 2 people.
Oh, that's so nice.
So that's nice. You can
That's
give
a
a
good
gift.
deal.
And then you can also be entered to win a Messer Meister roasting knife and fork set.
So make sure you do
Yeah.
that soon.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's our deal for Pesach.
Okay, very nice. And Elizabeth Kurtz from Gourmet koshercooking.com. Okay, it's hard to
Got
remember
it.
everything at once. Just want to wish everybody, it's our last show before Pesach, a Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, an easy, happy, wonderful time with your family and your food and everything. Happy cooking and Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Our show is sponsored by Abels and Hyman.